Superficial scribblings on sexism. Superficial scribblings on life. Who the fuck needs criticism? And I can always be right. Hello, something guys and gals, and welcome to yet another edition of Superficial Scribblings on Sexism. No Man's Sky, one of the most overhyped, shallowed, tepid examples on the totem pole of faults with the AAA industry, is now sexist too, if you take anything Jezebel reads seriously. I have alluded to this article in question on prior videos as clip art to explain why video game journalism has become increasingly pervasive to this feminist rhetoric, so I think it's about time to finally tackle it head on. Why isn't it called No Woman's Sky by Bobby Fingered? Well, Mr. Finger, I can tell you two good reasons why it isn't called No Woman's Sky even before you make some diatribe about it being sexist. First, it's a play on of the term No Man's Land, the area between two warring trench sides during the First World War, and secondly, because it's the fucking name of the title. It'd be like if I complained that the Miss Pac-Man series wasn't called Mr. Pac-Man, despite that the people in question have the right to title their game as they so see fit. So while I have already dug 2 fingers into this man's asshole, let's see if I can cram some more into the paragraphs below. For those of you who have spent the past week wondering why Jezebel has not yet published a review of the long-awaited PC/console game No Man's Sky, allow us to explain ourselves. We find the name of this first-person space travel game to be distasteful, offensive, and shamelessly anti-feminist. Yes, because every game that doesn't pander to your ideology is offensive, and that regardless if a game does pander to said ideology, that the mention of it having the title warrants said offense. It goes to show that SJWs are nothing but petulant children complaining and bickering about the most tasteless first world problems imaginable. But I'd like to address Jezebel's delay with making a review of this game, because I think it has everything to do with Jezebel not actually being a credible source of gaming critique, rather than being so taken aback that a game would have the word man in it. But who knows, maybe Jezebel is just that fucking petty. Jezebel will not be reviewing or even playing No Man's Sky, in a game that claims to take place inside a infinite procedurally generated galaxy. There should be more than enough room for equality. Because gender equality should take precedence over having a fun experience, or that the developer should be taken to task for putting their money where their mouth is, or in the case, Ryan Murray, the most disingenuous hack with the most shittiest of grins, talking all this talk about the game, only to be absent in the game. While I'm fingering your asshole, Bobby, would you like to address that gamers have been told lies about the game in question, or that things like such are infinitely more important than your identity politics drivel, or that the players in question don't even fucking see each other in the game, despite Murray claiming that you could see other players in the multitudinous galaxy? And that's not even coming over the fact that I'm sure some women have and do enjoy playing No Man's Sky despite your crying of it being sexist. And what's more blatantly awful about this article is that it is literally 2 paragraphs long. Yeah, what amounts to a fucking YouTube comment is the equivalent to an article. Although it does actually link to a review of the game through Kotaku, my job here is to critique superficial scribblings on sexism, not other game reviews, unless it's a load of shite like this. So let's see what other articles this Bobby Finger has done, since I haven't quite got my 4th finger into his asshole. One more thing to know about the reason that the game is called No Man's Sky. Man, in some contexts, as a word, can be gender neutral and describe humanity or mankind as a whole. Like if I were to say, the fault of man lies with our pride. The man in that sentence is not tied specifically to men or women, but to both. But what am I thinking? Historical context of words is just part of the patriarchy, right? Let's tune into Bobby Middle Finger. Tom Ford thinks having a dick in their ass would make men understand women better. Holy fucking shit. I can't imagine how someone so far up their own ass could seriously write an article with this caption without laughing themselves to the grave. Also, would a finger by chance also help too? Writer, director, intellectual, mannequin Tom Ford, one of a few gay men in Hollywood whom I, with considerable delusion by the way, consider to be my personal nemesis, was profiled by Taffy Brodesser Ackner in GQ this month, and decided to share more of his wackadoo thoughts about life, death, fashion, taking 3 to 5 power baths a day, and the way men should not live their lives. So you have a personal grievance with this guy, but yet expect me to take your account of what he said seriously? Is this an article, editorial, or opinion piece you're trying to spout? Consider the lead, in which Ford reveals that he thinks like a high school schoolboy who has taken his first hit from a joint. Tom Ford thinks about death all day, if you want to know the truth. I I look at a pup and I think, oh my god, that pup is so beautiful. Oh, it's just gonna be old and die. And that makes that puppy even more beautiful. He leans forward. I like flowers. They're beautiful, I think. Well, they're going to be dead in 3 or 4 days, but my God, aren't they beautiful now? He leans back and exhales. Everything's so transient, he says. Everything dies. I can almost hear the sneer emanating from Bobby Finger as he fingers his asshole and gets a good taste of the shit smeared on it from writing this, especially when the article in question was filed to Dirtbag, because when I want accurate coverage of a person saying some bafflingly weird shit, I want to make sure that the person in question has a vendetta too. Also, I don't see how Tom Ford having some nihilistic approach to life is somehow the same as some kind of teenager getting his first whiff off a joint. Everyone does, in fact, die, and that Tom Ford perhaps is saying that as a result of it, things that exist now are more beautiful as a result of their waning life expectancy. Anyhow, go on. While we're on the subject of everything dying, Ford says his 4-year-old son Jack is so happy because he hasn't learned the secret. And that secret, he says, is that he's going to die. But Jack isn't as happy as he could be, as Ford has banned him from wearing a favorite pair of shoes outside the house, writes GQ. Well, imagine trying to tell a 4-year-old kid, who is emphatic about his own boogers no less, that he's going to die. I think something like that should be left to the sidelines until he's matured a bit. Also, a bit presumptuous of you to say that his son isn't happy because he can't wear his favorite shoes, when literally anything you give to a 4-year-old would satisfy them. A sore subject in the Ford household, Jack has some light-up dinosaur shoes, and sometimes he tries to wear them to school. And when Ford catches him doing this, he has to step in. What does Dad say about wearing the dinosaur shoes? They're tacky, and when we are allowed to wear them, on weekends. Oh, scandalous! Tom Ford doesn't like his kid wearing his gaudy shoes, and makes him only wear them on the weekends. J'accuse! But we are finally getting to the meat of the bones of this article, as the writer also is berating the point. This must be exhausting for you, but I have one more whopper to share. At one point in the piece, Ford explains that men would understand women if they get fucked every once in a while. Yes, he says, all men should be penetrated at some point, and not as in emotions, he means. All men should be fucked. I think it would help them understand women, he argues. It's such a vulnerable position to be in, and it's such a passive position to be in, and there's such an invasion in a way that even if it's consensual, it's just very personal. And I think there's a psyche that happens because of it that makes you understand and appreciate what women go through their whole life, because it's not just sexual, it's a complete setup of the way the world works, that one sex has the ability to literally, and is expected to, and is wanted to, but also there's an invasion, and I think that that's something most men do not understand at all. Yeah, even I have to disagree with this sentiment. What Tom Ford is implying is that men don't experience the same invasion of their body and livelihood like women do because their genitals are external, not internal. He's also subtly saying that men can't get raped as a result of a biological accident because being raped through your dick is always a pleasant experience for them. When compared to women, it's treacherous and an invasion. This is also downplaying dominance in a sexual role, where women can in fact fuck guys without necessarily having to penetrate their assholes, as in riding on them, making them bottom as they do all the work. Also, since he is apparently a gay man, I think it's a bit biased of him to make this philosophy, as he primarily would like to get penetrated by other men, and that, for some reason, does not tie into getting into a woman's mind. All this wrapped up in the neat bow that women constantly get penetrated throughout their daily lives, while the men do all the penetrating. This is all the callings of a male feminist sentiment, but for some reason our intrepid male feminist has a problem with it. Let's find out why. Tommy, my good man, if you think the most fundamental part of womanhood is being penetrated by a dick, I don't know what to tell you. Wait, yes I do. Shut up. Now hold on there, finger. I'm very close to getting the thumb up your ass along with the other four fingers, and I just so happen to have an opportunity to see two like-minded ideologies tear itself apart. You see, feminism is under this presumption that all women are independent and don't need no man, yet constantly praise male feminists for being allies to feminism, and guilt-trip other men to their ideology through said claims of misogyny. So you would think that in this instance, fucking all the men, gay or straight, in the ass would help warm themselves to the female experience, despite the fact that a lot of women have never actually been penetrated in the first place, and that Tom Ford is projecting his own enjoyment of getting fucked in the ass onto other women as if he knows better. If no man's sky is a misogynistic term, then having men being fucked in the ass to understand women should be pro-feminist, right? Like how I'm fucking your ass with my entire fist. And while I do enjoy a good fisting, I still am not quite to the point of climax. Tom Ford's and Bobby Finger's sodomy session did get me close, but I want to be able to rim Bobby's butthole with both fists clenched. So let's find one more juicy article to get me to that cerebral orgasm. Stockholm Syndrome is a tale as old as time in the official Beauty and the Beast trailer. Almost sounds like something Anita Sarkeesian would make as a part of her Tropes vs. Women project. Let's find out. The full trailer for Disney's upcoming live-action adaptation of Beauty and the Beast has finally arrived and answers several pressing questions I've had since the film was announced, like, are they keeping what my coworkers refer to as the creepy piano music? Yes. Would I like Luke Evans as Gaston? Yes. Does the candlestick still want to fuck the feather duster? Yes. Is this story about Stockholm Syndrome even more upsetting in live action? Yes. Because God forbid any media have some disturbing philosophy or imagery inside of them. We have to protect the children. I mean, feminists for crying out loud. One throwaway line in which Miss Potts assures Belle, the master's not as terrible as he appears. Even manages to answer a question I didn't know I had until today. Is Miss Potts a Trump voter? Yes. What? I'm not even mad. I'm just so baffled as to how anyone could possibly come to this fucking conclusion from a trailer about a beastly man. It's almost like you were just finding an excuse to get your ideology warped in this. I want to lock this trailer up in a tower and never look at it again. But by Beauty and the Beast's logic, that will only make the trailer fall madly in love with me. And who am I to resist the attention of a beautiful piece of advertising? Guess we're getting married. Well, have your cake and eat it too, I suppose. Doesn't make your statement any more credible. Let's just curb the fact that the film is about looking into someone rather than looking outwardly, or the extremely chivalrous nature of the beast himself. It's all about that wanting to feel helpless mentality. Well, I've had my fill and delightfully managed to get Bobby's Finger's asshole gaping wider than a watermelon, so now I'll clean my hands of this filth because Bobby Finger is filth. All of his articles are basically tabloid nonsense that would see the likes of the National Enquirer, People magazine of all things. Click-baity, very opinionated, overall a waste of space on an otherwise disgraceful website as a whole. I was hoping there would be more to chew on that No Man's Sky article, but alas, all the fingers I have to give to this wiping pile of filth are the ones that can make the shock master.